Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
Sorry.
First video of the day.
I know.
Hadn't had a single drink.
Not a single drop.
All right.
And it's early. All right, this is Woodford Reserve. Wait for it.
We have to have done this.
Wheat whiskey. I know.
Oh, I didn't even know they made a wheat
I know.
whiskey.
Now they have all four: malt, bourbon, rye, and wheat.
Okay.
This is from Melanie and John Hestican.
Melanie and John Hestican, you magnificent bastard.
Chris Morris,
Yeah.
the main dude, master distiller, he said, this gives us, when they released this, all four of the primary categories of American whiskey.
Yep.
According to the TTB code. That's a different kind of candy nose. It's 52% wheat, followed by 20% malt. I was going to say, this is really rounded butterscotch malty.
I was about to say, thick and soft. It's thick yet soft.
That's really malty.
It's almost like a wheat bread smell.
Yeah, you know what it
Wheat
reminds me
bread
of?
with honey and sugar on the wheat bread.
I just bought a loaf of like the hardcore bread but it's like honey wheat. Yeah. It's the kind of bread where it's really dense. Like you pick it out, it's like, well, that's a brick. Right. And I opened the bag and it smells a lot like this.
Yeah.
Just honey wheat bread.
Yeah, it's not incredibly complex, right? There's just like 2 or 3 layers of notes on the nose here.
45.2% alcohol.
They're complementary and they're lovely, and I'm saying thick and soft.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it tastes very sweet, but not sickly sweet.
It's sweeter than you expect from the nose.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows up with a bit of a maraschino cherry for a moment. It swells up in the middle, and then that fades and leaves you with, well, maybe the cherry stays around.
I think
cherry sticks
sweet
around.
Tea. Like really sweet tea.
Yeah. That shows up near the end along with a barrel note.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice.
This is batch 43, by the way.
I'm one sip in, right? First impressions.
It's pretty, and it's very drinkable.
Yeah. And second sip, the cherry hits another gear, and the barrel hits another gear. I'm starting to lose the wheat character and find the kinds of cherries that I typically get from like a bourbon.
This is only 8% rye.
Got a little mustier for me on the nose.
Corn and malt. This is all 4 grains are in this.
The barrel came out a bit more, and it tamped down that wheat bread smell. That may just be because I'm 2 sips in.
Oh, now it got like flat soda sickly sweet with a weird, almost pepper that never quite becomes pepper at the end.
45.2%, 90.4 proof. Without the water, I think it was a bit more enjoyable.
You want to try the rye?
I do want to try the rye, even though there's no real relevance or justification.
So here's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if he's got a palate profile preference for the experience of a whiskey, regardless of the flavors of a whiskey. Oh. So whether the experience of the rye is that same kind of cohesive one note with just some slight tiptoeing in different directions.
Not necessarily one note as much as all the notes are melted together.
That's what I'm saying, a cohesive, singular thing.
Right.
As opposed to all these variances.
Right.
Where on the edges, there's some hints of other things, but they never leave the group. They're not distinctive and independent from each other, vying for your attention. So this is the rye, and already the nose.
Yeah.
Same experience. Cohesive, one, unified. It's a little more spicy, but it's the same family. You know how Balcones has a flavor profile? I didn't realize this, but I think Woodford, in their styles, has created a categorical flavor profile. The mash bill and the Woodford rye. Let's see. 53% rye, like this is 52% wheat.
Okay.
So it's a low rye.
And then they got a lot of corn in there?
And 33% corn, 14% malted barley.
Okay.
So all of these have high malt. I wonder if the high malt ratio is what's creating the flavor profile.
Yeah, I like them both.
Let's get the bourbon.
These are like really nice.
They're great.
I'm going to say really nice background whiskeys. The kind of thing that you pour yourself whenever you are in the middle of doing some other kind of activity.
All right, now there's the bourbon. Same thing. You know what? It's a distillery profile.
So the profile, not too complicated, but not thin and weak and boring. Just a really nice, thick yet soft presentation of a cohesive presentation of notes. It's a cohesive,
you know what it is?
An amalgamation.
It's a dessert.
Of notes.
Like you ever go to the restaurant and you get those desserts where they just take something rich too far? And then you get the other desserts where it's like, it's just boring and it's the same. And then you get that one dessert where it hits the perfect sweet spot for dessert. but it's not overly rich and too much to struggle.
Right.
And it's not any something you have to figure out. It's just like, that was just a good, you know what it's like? It's like the perfect cheesecake.
Okay.
Which is not a struggle.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Okay.
And it's not overly rich. Overly rich cheesecake is the worst. It's more creamy cheesecake than overly rich, dense, dry cheesecake. It's classic.
These Woodfords are probably as nicely balanced as the nicer wild turkeys.
Yeah. Or as any bourbon I've ever had, I think. And they're sweeter than
Well, I
wild
think-
turkeys. Wild
what I-
turkeys have a little more spice and barrel
What I
to them.
think, well, I think you can pick out more individual notes in the Wild Turkey 101, for example. But this is going to be a little bit more melded together, but also really balanced.
Of these, what's your favorite?
The rye, actually.
Really?
Yes.
I know, it's surprising. I was leaning that direction, but the bourbon took me back to bourbon.
No, the rye, man. That's,
It's a mild rye. Man, we talked a lot about whiskey today.
Sorry. We got Mark Polk. I'm a bourbon guy and want to try a rye. What's a good one to ease me into the rye? Is Woodford rye.
Yeah. You know, ironically, of all the days,
right.
I totally agree.
Yeah. All right.
Totally agree.
And then also the bullet rye is pretty light.
But the bullet rye is more classic and it's spicier.
Well,
and so you
but
have
it's-
to be
but
ready for the eucalyptus.
But
and,
that also is
Dry.
tamped down by a lower proof.
yeah, but it's drier. Right? And so actually, that's not a bad experiment.
No.
If you got the Woodford rye and the bullet rye,
Right.
figure out which one you like. If you like the bullet rye, you can head into ryes with no fear.
Right.
If you like the Woodford rye, you're going to have to be selective about the ryes that you
Do we
purchase.
have the bullet rye? Just do a.
Right, well, I
how did
think
this
we do.
become a rye episode?
I don't know. Here it is. Okay, this is the rye. Yeah. Way more dry and
I think you
astringent and
grabbed the rye
spicy.
down there. Oh yeah, that is. You do have more, even at that low proof, man. That is it a low proof? I'm getting it's 45. It's 45. Okay, so I think
It's about the same.
It's about the same. Good.
Yeah.
This has a little bit more of a spicy, pungent,
Grassy.
a little bit of eucalyptus in
Yep.
there. This doesn't go in that direction.
Round middle, creamy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, can we decorate for Christmas? Is that cool?
You want to decorate for Christmas?
Let me think about it. I don't
You
got to do it right if
We
you're going
don't-
to do it.
We don't have a Christmas tree, really.
That's true.
Final notes on the Woodford wheat.
Wheat is great. It's the first wheat whiskey that I tried and thought, this is not just sweet. This has still got some depth to it.
Yes.
But it's definitely sweeter of all the whiskeys.
Here's the thing. I've never had a wheat whiskey that I thought was, wow, this is an explosion of
totally
weird,
agree with
interesting
that.
flavors. It's going to be a little bit closer to center and rounded and often soft and sweet.
The more that I drink wheat whiskey, the more I think this is a good introduction to whiskey for non-whiskey drinkers.
Wheat whiskey.
Because it's so pretty all the time.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so sweet. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
if you fight me, I fight for a friend.
If you steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
And if you drink,
May you drink with us.